So this video is about the LGBT or whatever and WWE. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read an article. The first article I'm going to read is from Up Rocks. It was written in 2018, so a lot of it might be a little bit outdated. I'm not going to read the whole article, obviously, because it's so old. But we're going to bridge this article into some tweets from this gentleman who decided to go, a lot of the stuff that's been going on with Jake Atlas, because apparently Jake Atlas is an LGBT advocate, and he did not say that. He did not stamp that on his forehead in the first time people have ever seen him on NXT. So apparently it's a problem. But let's go through this. I'm gonna read this first article from Up Rocks. Then I'm going to reply as we go forward, and then I'm going to give you guys I'm going to read the tweets. I'm not going to say who wrote any of this stuff because I don't want them thinking that they're being targeted and all that bullshit. You know how they get down. So let's talk about this. Sonya Deville came out on television during the 2015 season of Tough Enough, which turns out to be the first time she publicly came out at all. She tells the story, including Triple H's reaction in the moment. In a recent interview with Sky Sports, she goes on to explain that even though it was spur of the moment decision to be truthful about her sexuality, it turned out very positive for her. Quote, this is a quote from Sonya Deville apparently. It was one of those spontaneous moments. It truly wasn't planned, but I'm so grateful that it happened, because after that, it not only gave me a new realization of what it means to be open and true to myself, but I feel like it helped me inspire other people. If you're scared to do it, my advice would be do it, because it was the best thing that ever happened. I'm not saying there's not going to be trials and tribulations along the way, but in life, the best life you can live is the life where you are true to yourself. This is absolutely true. The writer continues, since making it to WWE, despite being eliminated pretty early from Tough Enough, she's continued to be open about her identity, although it's never been mentioned on any of the wrestling shows. She sometimes wears pride-themed rainbow ring gear, and spoke about that choice with Paige during a brief appearance on this season's Total Divas. I don't know what this season's Total Divas would be. I have never watched Total Divas, so I have no idea what season this was. She's also been very public on social media, which she obviously considers important for her fans to see. We going back to Sonya Deville. My goal in talking publicly about my sexuality publicly is just so that a scared little girl or little boy can see me do it and think, wow, if she did it, then maybe it's okay that I do it. It's to encourage people to be themselves. Equality for all is what we should all want. Between race, religion, gender, sexuality, doesn't matter. We're all equal, and we should treat each other as such. Okay. The writer continues. Every time Sonya's sexuality comes up in interviews and whatnot, I see people expressing gratitude that it hasn't been a part of any wrestling storyline. I certainly understand that the concerns about how WWE will handle it, but I'm not satisfied with a queer wrestler's sexuality going unmentioned as an ongoing solution. Okay, now they're going to tell you why. Okay, so that's already a problem, right? Okay, so that's an issue. Straight wrestlers have stories built around their real and kayfabe relationships all the time. We can all be grateful we've moved past the era of hot lesbian action. I'm not grateful about that. And still hope for a day when an actual lesbian wrestler can be acknowledged as a lesbian on TV in an honest and respectful manner. After all, some of those scared kids Sonya spoke about probably watched SmackDown Live. Okay, so for some reason, Sonya Deville not being involved in a lesbian relationship on camera in 2018. This is 2018, by the way. So this Sonya Deville, when she really had no character, no real personality, she wasn't really doing much of anything. They just wanted her to be sort of the gay placard that she just stands still, does nothing, and be gay. That's really, I'm not hearing, hey, she needs to be involved in anything major, or it's just that she needs to be gay in a gay relationship. And it doesn't matter if the other person is gay or not, because we haven't even asked the question of who's going to be in this lesbian relationship with her. And I know that since 2018, Mandy and Sonya Deville have pitched this sort of pseudo-lesbian angle that ended up going to Lana and Liv Morgan. And then people made a big deal about it because they say Lana or Liv Morgan are gay. Of course, they both could be bisexual. Who the hell knows? But the angle eventually was dropped. because people, again, get upset about this stuff. So apparently, Sonya Deville, despite all the gay flags and on social media and everything, she's just not gay enough. And that's really the crux of today's argument, because I've seen this pop up again and again, is that you can be gay, and get an opportunity, but the fact is you're not gay enough. You're not Jimmy Hart with a megaphone covered in rainbow flags gay. You have to be that kind of gay, or you're not gay enough. So we're gonna read these tweets now that came out a couple hours ago. Apparently, your boy, Lord and Master of the Internet, Dave Meltzer, complained that NXT wrestler Jake Atlas, who again I guess is a LGBT advocate, was not allowed to mention, or did not want to, or it was edited out of, or who knows, out of his introductory promo, which he did not get when he first made his first appearance. He did not get to talk during his first appearance, and he lost. And then the focus was on that Jake Atlas lost, and he would be a big star in AEW, and he should never have lost or whatever. But in the Cruiserweight tournament, Drake Maverick, he beat Drake Maverick in the first match. So Jake Atlas won, but he did not mention being gay. So apparently it's a big deal to all of these liberal leftists that Jake Atlas did not become a placard, did not walk around like a sign with, gay pride flags all over his head and face, and that he actually, came out and tried to be a sort of kind of generic pro wrestling guy from, I think, California or something like that. And, maybe over time introduce this sort of thing. What they want is, hi, I'm gay. My name is Jake Atlas. That doesn't make sense. But let's go through this. WWE is, of course, in a perpetually rhetorical catch-22 of pretending to be progressive by hiring and featuring diverse talent, but also as a company actively supporting politicians who are working towards the elimination of civil rights of those same performers. What civil rights exactly? You would have to show me some type of if you want to take the political route, you can show me that just because somebody is quote unquote conservative, that they all of a sudden want to take away gay rights. That's false. There's a lot of conservatives that are for gay rights, and there's some people who are libertarians like me who do not care about gay rights whatsoever, and who agree with the Sonya Deville everybody should be treated equal under the law argument. We most of us agree with that. So you have to give me specifics. What specific politician? Donald Trump? No, Donald Trump is not that guy. You have to give me a specific politician. But let's continue. It manifests symptomatically. These people always try to talk like they're really high-minded. In moments like last night's already infamous promo, in which a star can discuss breaking barriers while strategically not mentioning which barriers and for who, because doing so would inevitably call attention to their company's conservatism. Yes, the conservatism of having the LGBT pop up at WrestleMania with Finn Balor. That level of conservatism. That conservatism where you have the biggest stage possible, the first entrance on the biggest show of the year, and this is 2 or 3 years old at this point. It was one of your biggest stars, had a load of unnecessary gay people on the stage, and that performer isn't even gay. These people don't make any sense. These people don't make any sense. He said, this is in no way a knock on the talent within WWE who are in a position where making a moral, quote unquote, what is up with these people who thinking that, being a spokesman for something is a moral decision? It's not. It literally costs you nothing to run your mouth. It doesn't cost me anything to make these videos. It doesn't cost me anything. It's at the cost of maybe, maintaining my cell phone. That's it. These things cost you nothing. Who cares if you're gay or not? People are not there to see you being gay. People are there to see you wrestle. He said, and we'll read it again, this is in no way a knock on the talent within WWE who are in a position where making a moral, quote unquote, or responsible, quote unquote, political, quote unquote, choice, quote unquote. Look at all this. It's nonsense. This is nonsense. It's impossible. Impossible? What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Honestly, when when the Liv Morgan and Lana thing happened, people were upset because for starters, it was upsetting because it was dumped on top of a lot of other things that were going on in the whole Lana and Lashley situation. So it would be fair to say that it was sort of done as a Jerry Springer shock type of deal. But anything that's going to have to do with people being gay is going to come as a shock to people anyway, especially if they don't know. But we live in an era where everybody is online anyway, and people follow these folks. And if you see Jake Atlas enough, you'll go to his site, go to his Twitter account or whatever, and you'll see that he's gay. It's never really mattered before. I know Darren Young, who was gay in the WWE before, and it was never mentioned with him either. I think it was mentioned. I think it was mentioned with Darren Young being out and openly gay, but it was never mentioned in the storyline, and it didn't matter because who was he going to do this gay storyline with? He was in a tag team with Titus O'Neil, and then he was trying to get over with Bob Backlund and doing that whole thing, make Darren Young great again. None of that has anything to do with him being gay. So what would have been the big deal about me being told that Darren Young was gay 100 times? What good would have it done? Would it have benefited his character? I don't see how. Unless you want to say that's a substitute for talent, is just being gay. Just being quote unquote diverse, or a member of these groups, and is that supposed to be all of a sudden a replacement for talent, a replacement for ability? We could be talking about how cool Jake Atlas's finish was last night when he did the cartwheel into the DDT. That was badass. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Jake Atlas not being gay enough, despite wearing a sparkly jacket, by the way. And, but he's just not gay enough because he was not draped in pride flags on WWE TV. Because, he's not gay enough for the activists. But this is the thing about the activist groups, the activist core of, the United States anyway. And, you could say the activist groups in the West, which would include Australia and Canada and all this type of stuff, is that you can be gay, but you're never gay enough. You're just never gay enough. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you could be black, you're just not black enough. If you're black, you have to be black in the way that they want you to be black. If you're gay, you have to be gay in the way they want you to be gay. You can't just be gay. You can't just be gay and be talented or do anything and be gay. You have to be gay first. You have to be black first. You can't just be a talented dude who is black. You have to be black first. If you're not, then it's the WWE holding you back, because we know how great that does in the business of just, we're going to make somebody being gay the focal point of who they are. That doesn't work, and it doesn't matter, and nobody cares ultimately. And I, at the end of the day, man, whether it's AEW or WWE or any promotion, you should try to get the characters over first. When you see Exoticos in Mexico or something like that, it's played up as comedy, where you got these guys in drag, and it's not anything that anybody takes seriously. It's not. It's a laughing stock. And people shouldn't have to be that way. People shouldn't have to perform in a way where they are treated as a stereotype, because it would benefit certain people over others. Then people get offended by stereotypes, right? Like a couple of years back, there was a tag team, Crime Time. And Crime Time, they had the whole Brooklyn, they used to steal and do all this stuff. This was the idea of the characters. I think JTG came up with the Crime Time gimmick. And people said, oh, it's racist. It came from JTG. So even if the stereotyped characters come from the mind of the person who's playing the character, it's still a problem. So it's like, you talk about your catch-22, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you don't mention that a character is gay, and the character is gay, people are going to be mad. If you make too much of a big deal out of the character being gay, then you're just mocking them and you're making fun of them and you're stereotyping them. This is why I actually have no problem with WWE is doing. I have no problem with it. Because it's really love triangles and stuff like that don't really they pop up every once in a while in wrestling. We've had two within the last 2 years with the Lana, Rusev, Lashley thing, and now the Mandy Rose, Otis thing. But ultimately, they don't happen that often, And then where are you going to get a certain number of gay wrestlers? Like, you're going to put a straight wrestler in a position to play gay on television. Well, that's really what you want to do, which is, of course, profoundly unfair, because if that person doesn't want to do it, then what are they, a homophobe? Let's say you don't want to be the guy that kissed Jake Atlas in the mouth. Are you a homophobe now because you do it if it was Mandy Rose? Like, yeah, probably would. But, I don't want to kiss Jake Atlas in the mouth. And that's the situation they want to create, right? So they can call them people homophobes and all that type of stuff when it's really unnecessary. Let Jake Atlas be Jake Atlas. I am not a indie hunter. I do not go around trying to see, if I see a guy on the indies, great. If I don't see him, great. But again, I always say, I don't need to see Dog Day Afternoon to know if The Godfather is good or not. And for people who don't understand, Al Pacino was in both of those movies. He was a homosexual in Dog Day Afternoon, and he was obviously Michael Corleone in The Godfather. They are two separate movies. And that's how I view wrestling. Where you go to a different territory, you're a completely different character, you're playing a different person. Okay? Even if you're playing the same person, it's still a different territory, a different presentation, that sort of thing. Especially in WWE, where the territory is usually drastically changes your personality. So, no, I do not care what Jake Atlas did on the indies. Okay? I care about what Jake Atlas does in NXT. And what I've seen is he's okay. I'm not saying he's the best guy in the world, like other people are trying to say, because I haven't seen that much of him. But I see the potential, I see the talent. He's a guy who's got some skills. Let him show those skills. Stop trying to turn him into a placard for your agenda. I don't care that Jake Atlas is gay. And then, once you tell me that he's gay, where are you going to go from there? You're just going to keep telling me that he's gay? You're just going to tell me he's gay over and over again? We've got Total Divas, which is a WWE program, by the way, which Sonya Deville has been all over, taking people to pride parades and everything, because apparently WWE is hiding that Sonya Deville is gay, which is, again, nonsense, right? She's all over Total Divas with pride flags and everything, and she's even wore pride flags to the ring. Okay? It's not like they're hiding that Sonya Deville is a lesbian. It is not like she's wearing a paper sack and she's not allowed to wear anything else. It's nonsense. But Jake Atlas is new. He only came. That was only his second match in the company. It was his first fucking promo. He cut one promo and didn't mention being gay. Oh my God. That's apparently the most important thing about his life. Apparently, that's the most important thing about his life. Guess what? When Keith Lee cut all his promos, when Damian Priest, all of those guys had promos last night. Nobody mentioned their sexuality. None of them. Keith Lee didn't mention that he was dating Mia Yim and that was the most important thing that he's ever done. No, he didn't mention that shit at all. He talked about his character motivations. Even though I don't think Keith Lee had a promo last night. I think that was Damian Priest. Keith Lee was probably 2 weeks ago. But ultimately, nobody mentioned their sexuality in the video. Nobody. So why would Jake Atlas? He's not the first gay wrestler the WWE has ever hired. He's not even the second. As far as I know, Chris Kanyon might have been one of the first ones. And people talked a lot about that too. Chris Kanyon was bullied when, for being gay or whatever. And I tell people this all the time, man. I'm from the hood. People will bully you for anything. They will bully you for being fat. They will bully you for being skinny. They will bully you for being rich. They will bully you for being poor. They'll bully you if you got, a whole too many girlfriends. They'll bully you if you got none. There's just no way around it. In certain circles, especially athletic circles, whatever you're known for, they can turn it into a negative. It doesn't matter what it is. So I really didn't think too much of it. But if it's not going on today, then it's not relevant to today. Ultimately, Jake Atlas has the ability to stand out on his own, and then if he chooses to, if he could find somebody who wants to do like this gay storyline with him, so be it. If not, then guess what? That's just how it is. The focus of a WWE superstar should be to, quote-unquote, defeat whatever opponent you put in front of them to win a championship or something like that. to achieve some type of goal. Being gay should not be a goal. Okay? That just doesn't make any sense. Being straight is not a goal. Okay? It is just a function of who you are. And nobody cares about the functions of who you are, particularly that much. So what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about WWE's presentation? Should Jake Atlas have been mentioning being gay on TV? And if so, why? If not, why not? So drop a line. Let me know what you guys think about this video, and I'll talk to you guys later.